Hi everyone, I'm Maria. My story is about me and my best friend Natalie. Me and Natalie were friends for 5 years, and you could say we were more like sisters. But something happened that made us cut off our friendship forever. Everything started when Natalie and I started working in a newspaper office. I was the typist and she was the graphic designer. About 6 months ago, the company was hiring new employees. A guy named David joined the company staff. He was so hot and handsome, and most of the girls in the company liked him. But he wasn't into any of them at all. One of the girls who had a crush on David was my best friend Natalie. She liked him way too much that whenever she saw him, she would easily get nervous and distracted. But apparently, David wasn't into relationships or stuff like that. Once, when we were having lunch, David came towards me and started flirting and talking to me. Everybody was so amazed by that matter because David would never do such a thing. Natalie, who was sitting next to me, was beyond angry. You could feel how much she was jealous. After David left, she looked at me and shouted with anger. Why did you flirt with David that much in front of me? You know that I like him, don't you? I said, Who? Me? I didn't even try to talk to him. He was the one who started the conversation, not me. Natalie was super furious. The next day, the same thing happened again during lunch. When David was talking to me, I turned around to take a look at my best friend who was looking like she wanted to kill me out of jealousy. This time, unlike yesterday, she didn't say anything, but it was so obvious. It was all written on her face that how angry she was. That's when Natalie planned the worst thing on her head ever. After a couple of days, David asked for my number, and I gave it to him. I started to think that maybe he actually likes me, and I thought it's not bad that I like him back too, right? What's the problem with that? But all of this was Natalie's plan. One day, David texted me. After flirting for some time, he finally got to the point and said, How much for a night? I was so shocked. Therefore, I asked, What? What are you talking about? David said, For one night stand, I mean. I said, Who do you think you're talking to? I'm no slut. David, who was so shocked, said, But Natalie told me this is what you do as your second job. As soon as David said that, I immediately called Natalie. She didn't pick up the phone. The next day, when I went to the office, I found her sitting behind her chair working. I started insulting her and we had a pretty bad fight there. All of the company's staff were gathering around us to see what was happening. My boss asked me to go to his office because of this. After he heard about what happened, then he asked David to go to his office. And long story short, he fired all three of us. As easy as that, because of my best friend's jealousy, I was called a slut and got fired and lost my job. After that incident, David called me to apologize. But Natalie, she was long gone from my life. Because of a guy, she made me lose my job and my everything. After that, I promised myself to set a red line and never get close to someone without caution. A word of advice for you. Don't ever lose your best friend because of guys or girls. They would come and leave, but your true friends will always remain by your side.